Hello everyone, my name is Emma Smith and this is my Medical Minute presentation on sepsis. So, sepsis is an inappropriate response of the host immune system to infection causing life-threatening organ dysfunction. And a little bit about how sepsis is diagnosed. So, doctors are going to look at temperature, and temperature may be higher or lower than normal, but in most people, temperature is higher and presents as fever. Patients also have low blood pressure or hypotension with sepsis, and they also have tachycardia or increased heart rate, which is heart rate above 100 beats per minute. Doctors will also go ahead and do some labs, and these labs will check for infection, organ damage, and things of that nature. Doctors are also going to check blood cultures for bacterial infections, and they're also going to do some tests for viral infections to see what may be the underlying infection that is causing the sepsis. So some common symptoms of sepsis is organ dysfunction, most often the liver, also difficulty breathing or dyspnea, low urine output, abnormal liver tests. Patients may also have a change in mental status, and this can be seen in extreme confusion. They're really sleepy, they're difficult to arouse or awaken. They just don't seem like very cognitively aware, so that's a big sign of sepsis. And then, as already discussed, patients may see a drop in blood pressure, and nearly all patients that are in severe sepsis require ICU treatment. So now you can go ahead and direct your attention to that picture in the middle of the screen, and it says, when it comes to sepsis, remember it's about time. Watch for temperature, infection, mental decline, and extremely ill. These are the four very important factors that you can use to diagnose sepsis in a patient. And for temperature, we already kind of discussed that it will be higher or lower than normal, but most oftenly it's higher and presents as a fever. Infection, patients are also going to have signs and symptoms of infection, and those can be tested for using the blood cultures and viral infection tests. And patients also have a mental decline. They may appear confused, sleepy, difficult to arouse or awaken, and they're just cognitively not really aware. And they're also extremely ill. They have severe pain, discomfort, shortness of breath. I actually saw this on one of the websites that patients describe how they're feeling as, I feel like I'm going to die. And that's just really how they describe it. So extremely ill is definitely a risk factor. And then if you also see the clocks that I passed out, it's just kind of like a mnemonic device that represents the same thing as this photo with temperature, infection, mental decline, and extremely ill. And I use clocks to represent that as my creative part of this presentation. So you can go ahead and look at those, and they actually work. They have hands that you can like turn around. And so they're just really cute, and I like that as my creative intervention. So then moving on to treatment, patients with sepsis are usually treated with antibiotics, and they usually begin these as soon as possible. As soon as they know that that the patient might have sepsis, they start antibiotics almost immediately. And they use antibiotics because they're effective against bacteria, and also IV fluids are used, and IV fluids are used also as soon as possible. And another medication that I didn't list but is also included is vasopressors, and this is medications that help to increase blood pressure because in sepsis, patients generally have a super low blood pressure that they need to increase. Some other medications patients with sepsis may receive are corticosteroids, insulin, and also immune system boosting drugs because the immune system is being affected by infection, and it really needs help to combat that infection. Painkillers and things of that nature too, just to help them deal with the extreme pain and discomfort. And then moving on to, in regards to occupational therapy, some of the things that we can do as occupational therapists, we have to remember that most of our patients are probably going to be in the ICU just because of the severe symptoms. And so occupational therapists can focus on cognitive interventions and very light tasks that don't require a lot of like movement because or endurance because patients have shortness of breath and they're just dealing with a lot of things like high fever, low blood pressure, so it wouldn't be wise to do like a lot of exercise interventions or anything like that. And after patients have recovered from sepsis and they are at home, you can also educate them on the functional changes that they might have to make to their environment and also help them deal with any cognitive difficulties that they may be having. And it's also important to help them address post-sepsis syndrome because 50% of survivors have some type of residual effects from sepsis. Some of the symptoms of post-sepsis syndrome are difficulty sleeping, fatigue, shortness of breath, joint pain, muscle pain, swelling in the limbs, um, repeat infections, rashes, and things of that nature. Post-sepsis syndrome also has some psychological and emotional impacts on the patient. Patients may experience hallucinations, panic attacks, flashbacks, decreased cognitive functioning, depression, mood swings, and concentration problems and memory loss. And so, occupational therapists can work with patients who are experiencing post-sepsis syndrome as well to help them with those deficits. Moving on to the prognosis of sepsis. Sepsis kills 11 million people per year, so it's a very large number, which is really scary. And the rate of survival for a mild sepsis, most people survive that, but if you progress to septic shock, 40% mortality rates are present. And as I mentioned before, the post-sepsis syndrome or the effects of sepsis, like after they've initially recovered, is 50% of survivors. And if you're looking for more information, you can go ahead and visit that website there, and it will tell you more about sepsis. And then here's my references. Thank you for listening.